This is low-key an emergency video. It's an emergency video. And the reason it is because the second season to the show, The Summer I Turned Pretty, premiered. And I don't talk about this that much, actually, like, really at all. I don't think I've ever talked about the show on this channel. And that's for good reason. So look, I talk about things I don't like on this channel sometimes. I talk about the 9 Realms because I'm not a fan of it. I talk about, characters I don't like. I talk about maybe plot lines I don't like, about certain movies or shows. I'm really open to it. And the reason why I never talked about The Summer I Turned Pretty is because, in my opinion, it is just so not a good show. In my opinion, I'm just saying, in my opinion. It's just so bad to the point where I can't even have any sort of passion for it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to start off by saying, if you guys like the show, no disrespect whatsoever, you could watch it. If you guys like it, totally fine. I know it's very popular, it's really good reviews, so obviously more than half of the people do enjoy the show. I'm not one of them, but I'll explain why in a minute. I'm not just saying, I hate this show, and then not explaining it, because I want to explain my feelings. So, I did watch The Summer I Turned Pretty, but I will be honest, I couldn't even get through the first season. I couldn't get through it, which is like a problem for me because I usually get through every show, no matter how bad it is. I mean, unless it's something like Grey's Anatomy where they have like 20 seasons, or The Office or something like that. I can't do that. No, I'm not gonna finish that if I don't like it. But The Summer I Turned Pretty, the first season has freaking like 8 episodes. 8 freaking episodes. 8 episodes. Like, I couldn't even finish 8 freaking episodes of this show. So, long story short, I decided to tune into The Summer I Turned Pretty, the first season, before the second season premiered. Mainly because I seen how popular it is, people are raving over it, people are going absolutely insane over it, and since I saw the hype of it, I was like, okay, cool. And I heard it's like a nice summer show, and it's summer right now, so I was like, you know what, let me check it out, The Summer Turned Pretty seems summery, seems like fun. So I looked at the reviews, just, out of curiosity. And yeah, it has like pretty good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. It has like almost like a 90% or something like that. Lots of good reviews. So I was like, okay, let me check this out. Let me check it out. So I decided to check it out, and let me get into the reasons why I was not a fan of the show The Summer I Turned Pretty. Okay, I have a list. I'm sorry. I have a list. The first one being this is really generic, but it's super cheesy. This might just be a me thing, because maybe I'm just not a fan of romance, which I thought it kind of was, but I think this movie, or the show, made me come to a realization that maybe it's not like, maybe I don't like shows and movies that are just dedicated to romance. Like, I kind of like romances when they're like in the back, like, like that's probably why I like Hickstrid and How to Train Your Dragon, because it doesn't really have to do with the relationship. It's about the relationships with dragons. It's a fantasy, it's action packed, it's fun, but the romance is included in the background. Oh, my Barbie nails, sorry. Okay. I went off track. I have my nails painted for the Barbie premiere. I'm excited. But besides that, and maybe that's the same thing with Harry Potter, with like Ron and Hermione. Lots of people like them, and of course the franchise is not about their romance whatsoever. It's just a thing they decided to include, and I think that's all fine and dandy. But maybe I'm just not a fan of actual romance shows, because like that's all it is. It's basically just a romance drama show, and maybe I'm not a fan of it. So for this one, maybe I'm just being picky because I'm not a fan of romance films and shows. So maybe I'll let this one slide. So this one might get me in trouble for saying, and I'm so sorry. Again, if you guys like the show, perfectly fine. No hate to you whatsoever. This is just me giving my opinion. I'm so sorry. But the best way to describe this show is that, or at least the criteria I feel like the show is really directed to, is basic white girls. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to say that, because I hate saying that. I hate saying basic white girls because it sounds like annoying. But like, it gives me those vibes because it's about the girls and I know this sounds weird to say because the main actress is like Asian or something, so I know it sounds weird to say, and lots of the girls in the show I believe are people of color, so I'm not saying that like they're like, you know, I'm not saying that they're acting like white, if you know what I mean. I'm just saying that I feel like this show generally is dedicated, or not dedicated, but it's supposed to go for straight white girls, and I feel like that's not a big majority of people, honestly. Like, I feel like a show should be kind of inclusive. I'm not saying that's like they're being homophobic or anything, or being racist. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying just the way that the characters act, the way they behave. I'll get to more in-depth reasons on that later on, but I'm just saying that they go more, it just so the reason I say that too is because, again, I'm not gonna give too much spoilers because I generally don't remember lots of the plot lines. I mean, I do. I mean, I'm not like acting stupid, like I remember the show obviously if I'm doing this video, but I'm just saying that lots of the girls act like basic white girls because I went to a really white high school, and just school in general. I live in a very white area. There's not that many people of color in my schools, and they're the definition of pick-me girls. And I'm not saying everyone, I'm not saying every white girl, because obviously I'm white, so I'm not saying every single white girl's like this, but the majority of the people in my high school were pick-me girls, and this show just brings me back to those pick-me girl vibes, and I'm not for that. I can't relive my high school years with those pick-me girls. I can't do it. It's not happening. Another criticism I had with the show is how overdramatic it is. See, this is what confused me with the show. This show doesn't seem like it's meant for kids. Like, it's not. If this show was a movie, it would definitely be rated R. Not only because of the language, but the sex and nudity, drugs and alcohol, like underage drinking, like all of it. They have all of it. So this would definitely not be kid friendly in a movie whatsoever. Even though every like character is like 16 years old, it's not meant for kids. And that's a weird part too, because again, I'm only 20 years old, but this show just brings me like the way that the characters act, they just seem so like immature. Like, I know they're only 16, but 16 is high school. They're bringing me back to like middle school age, when a girl would be like, I kind of like that girl. And then the guy would be like, oh my god, ew, gross, cooties. And it's like a back and forth battle, and no one's resolving everything, no one's saying anything. It's like the whole entire show just revolves around like 3 characters having a love triangle, and they don't know where to go from there. They're like, oh my god. And then there's so many times where the girl's like, I like you, and he's like, I like you too, but they're dating other people. And then finally they break up, and then they're like, I still like you, and he's like, I think we should still be friends. Like, this was your opportunity. This was your opportunity to get with her, and you just didn't, for the sole purpose of bringing more drama into the show. That's literally the only reason I could think of. Like, in real life, the guy would be like, yeah, sure, let's get together. Okay. And another criticism I have of the show is literally in my notes, I literally just wrote attractive emo boy. Now look, I know a lot of straight girls, okay? I know a lot of straight girls in my lifetime, I know a lot. I have met a lot of straight girls, and my sister is a very, very straight girl. She is. And I know that a lot of straight girls have visions about kind of like emo, bad boy, attractive dudes. And lots of girls fetishize that. So I honestly believe that they did that because, I mean, think about it. Would so many people watch the show if all the characters were bad looking? Like, I know the girl has to be pretty, obviously, because, like, the summer turned pretty. So I know she's supposed to be pretty. But imagine if all the guys were, like, doofuses. If they were just not attractive looking dudes. I feel like no one would watch it. And if they did, it wouldn't have the best reviews. So, but I feel like the main dude that I'm mentioning, if you guys seen the show, you know who I'm talking about, is Conrad. He is like the definition of like that emo, grumpy, cool, laid back, attractive looking dude that so many girls are swooned over. And I generally feel like that is, again, a big majority, a big part of the people who watch it probably. But I feel like it's also another version of Twilight, where there's this like pretty girl who has two good-looking guys kind of chasing after her. And lots of people freaking got mad. Lots of people got mad at Kristen Stewart, even though it's not her fault. Lots of people got mad at her because they were jealous that she was being like chased by two attractive guys. And it was like this crazy love triangle. I feel like it's the same thing with this show. There's like two, maybe more, I think there's two attractive guys going towards Belly, which is a weird nickname. I'm sorry, Belly. Who's like look, okay, that's a rant for another time. But come on, just two attractive guys going after a pretty girl. That just makes for like a cheesy summer romance. And I know this is a summer romance, but why did they have to make it cheesy? And again, I know this is based off of a book, but this is a show. They have lots of material to work with. They didn't have to cut certain parts. They didn't have to like make it exactly accurate. They could have switched it up if they wanted to. And I don't know. It just, I don't know. I just don't like it. Because I know what girls like. Like, I know the type of guys that a majority of girls go for in shows, when it comes to shows especially. The next thing I wrote on my notes is overdramatic and undramatic at the same time. That is unfortunately like, I mean, I know I wrote this list, but I also wrote this list while I was watching the show. Like, literally it was playing, and then I was like writing it down as the show was going on. So probably at a certain part I was like, yep. Like, the reason I say overdramatic and underdramatic at the same time is because lots of the characters overreact in a crazy way that doesn't really matter that much. They just generally just overreact. They're like, what the hell's going on? What that, like, they get so pissed and so mad. But then it is almost like it's never happened. It's like the next time, because the majority of the show is just like a bunch of kids just messing around. Like, literally there's so many scenes that are just kind of like filler. It's just like the kids just kind of like goofing off with one another and just kind of like talking. And I'm not saying that that always means it's filler when kids are just having fun. It just doesn't contribute to the story, and like most of the time Conrad is just kind of being like an emo boy in the background, so he's not really doing much. But it's just, I don't get it. I think the reason I also say that too is because there was like a storyline, I forgot exactly like the terms for this, but like they kept acting like Belly, you know, the main girl, Isabella, the girl who turned pretty. They basically keep saying that like before she went there, like, you know, because she moved into like the guy's house, like her friend's house for the summer or whatever, like before she moved there, people act like she was a freaking tomboy, she didn't care about stuff. But the second she starts like, I don't know, maybe wanting to wear a dress, wanting to do her hair, wanting to wear makeup a little bit, they act like she's changing for the worst. Like, no joke, they literally are like, you're not the Belly I remember. What happened to you? You're different. What's going on? Like, they act like something so bad happened with her. First of all, she's 16. That is literally the age people start to experiment with stuff. Like, I literally went from a tomboy. I know I look like a tomboy every time I film, but I'm like in the middle. I don't know, pink nails. But like, literally, like, I was freaking like, I did not wear makeup whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, when I turned 16, that was the age where people want to experiment with makeup, experiment with clothes, hair. Like, it was an experimental phase. But they act like she's like changing, like she's like transforming into this whole new, different, crazy, badass girl. Like, no, she's not. She's a 16-year-old girl. She has a lot to change. And also, too, it's for the summer. And she also had a crush on this guy for like, since she was little. And they act like she's just dedicating her life to boys. Like, I don't think that's true. Again, she's 16. She's hormonal. She's a freaking high schooler. She's allowed to have these emotions. She's allowed to change her look. She's allowed to feel different things. Like, it's not so crazy. I don't know why they act like that is. And I kind of get it if it's like her friend, which her friend was like that. But not only that, it's also her mom. Like, again, I don't know the scientific term of what this was, but like, her friend's mom signed Belly up for like this high class, first class, like, girl club or something. I don't know exactly what it's called. They mention it, but I don't remember. But then Belly was kind of hesitant, but then all of a sudden she did say yes, but the mom acted like that was beyond her. She was like, really? That's not like you, Belly. Like, what? Like, she never had this opportunity before. Why are they acting like it's beyond her? Like, she always like denied this a billion times, and the one time she says yes, like, and like the mom wouldn't let it go. The mom looked generally like nervous for her. Like, I mean, come on. The mom is supposed to be like encouraging. I feel like if Belly didn't like it the first time, she could have just not gone again. But the mom was like she had some personal issues with that. And I didn't finish the first season, so maybe they explained it. I'm sorry if they did. But she looked like she had some actual trauma from those like high, rich, fancy pants girls, because she did not want Belly to be a part of that. And I really don't know why. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't know. So yeah, again, another reason is, like I mentioned before, but it just brings me back to the middle school years. And this isn't like middle school kids, they're high school kids. But they act like they're playing that Oreo game. Do you remember that game? Maybe you guys are too young who are watching this. But like, in my elementary school, there was always a game called Oreo, where it's like rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And then if you lose, the winner has to tell you to ask out someone or something. And like, of course, it's always like embarrassing when they go over and was like giggling, and then they're like, ooh, like when the person denies them or something. And that happened so much in my elementary school. It was like a big thing. But yeah, it was crazy. Like, I don't know, I just thought that, which is so odd. Like, I know the people who wrote the show and who wrote the books aren't like middle school and high school age, but I don't know, I guess they could have wrote them a little aged up. But that also brings me to my next point. I hate when shows, I don't know why I hate this so much, but I hate how like every show that I see, whenever they're underage, I mean 21 and younger, they are always drinking like it's the most casual thing in the world. I don't know why that bugs me so much. They did that in Glee, like in the season 2 episode, Blame It on the Alcohol, when they were just like drinking their freaking brains out. And most of them, it was like so out of character for a lot of them. Like, I feel like Rachel, being the goody two-shoes she wouldn't want to drink.
It tastes like pig! It tastes like pig!
And that goes for Mike, even Tina, and even Blaine. But they all drink like it's like Blaine literally went to an all-boys private school, and he was like a goody two-shoes straight A student, and then he just randomly like drank his brains out and beer. I'm not talking about like a little wine cooler. I'm talking beer. They drink like flat out beer like it's nothing. Like it's freaking mom's milk. Like they're literally, and I don't know why that bugged me so much. I know it's supposed to be a joke, but like it happens all the time. And it literally happened. Like, I don't want to criticize every little piece, especially when it comes to the acting of the show, because I know they're new. I know they're not the best actors because they're just starting out. But Belly her actress didn't know how to really act drunk. Like, I don't know. I mean, I know, hopefully, I think the actress is like 20, but still, hopefully she never been drunk a lot of times. But she generally, like, she didn't pull off of me. And also, too, she got drunk off of, like, margaritas. Like, that's hard to do. Like, I believe, especially the frozen margaritas, like, that is, like, pretty difficult to do. And again, I just hate how it's, like, so casual. Like, I mean, I hope kids who watch this don't think it's, like, super duper casual to drink when you're underage. Like, it just, I don't know, it just rubbed me the wrong way. I know the show isn't meant for, like, kids, but, like, probably high school kids watch the show. And I generally just don't like it. Like, I don't know, it just bugs me. Not so much where, like, I think it's, like, wrong, but I don't know, it just irks me for some reason. I can't explain it. This is a funny point. Okay, it is sponsored too much by Taylor Swift's music. And again, this is coming by a Swiftie, so I'm not saying that, you know, the music makes it bad. The music makes it good. I'm kidding. No, but I'm generally just like, I feel like a lot of people started watching the show because Taylor Swift talks about it so much and because her music is played in it so much. And not just her music, just like every popular artist. Like, I think Billie Eilish's music, Olivia Rodrigo, like Dua Lipa, like so many artist songs are played in the show. And for no reason. Like, the first scene of the show, it was just Belly and her friend talking in her room. And then, like, Taylor's music was just playing in the background for no reason. Like, just stuff like that all the time. And I don't know, I just find that weird because, again, it makes people want to watch the show. That's why I hate when some people will, like, watch a show when they're just, like, a good-looking character in it. And they just want to watch the show just because of that. Like, ugh. I feel like they did that with the Taylor Swift music. I feel like also Swifties started watching the show because Taylor's music is played in it a lot. And again, it is kind of a cool point, but again, that's another reason why how they're getting money by Taylor's music, people wanting to watch it, Taylor posting about it on her Instagram. It just rubs me the wrong way. I also think this show has a bad message about looks. Just the name of the show, The Summer I Turned Pretty. So, you're saying no one gonna get no guys unless you turn pretty? I don't want to be like a woke person. Like, I don't want to be woke or anything, but like, it just doesn't sound right. The Summer I Turned Pretty. And also too, she didn't turn pretty. I'm not saying she's ugly. I'm saying she was never ugly to begin with. She was always pretty. Just because she had braces and glasses and makes you ugly, that's the most stereotypical thing I've ever heard of. That's another reason why I called it so cheesy. Because what, the second you have glasses, the second you have braces, you're ugly? Or like you wear freaking pigtails like high up and you look like a freaking dweeb? Everyone at my high school, all the popular girls wore glasses and had braces. Those were the popular girls. And now all of a sudden, she freaking lost her glasses, lost her braces, she's freaking hot now, all the guys want her. What? Like, it makes me so mad. And again, this is a spoil if you haven't seen close to the end of the show yet, or at least the first season. Because again, there was like an on again, off again sort of thing between Belly and Conrad. They were like, dude, is he gonna express her feelings? Is she gonna express her feelings? Do they like each other? Do they not? What's going on? Like, it was like a back and forth freaking mess with the entire thing. Literally a back and forth mess. And then finally, And then finally, they decide to not get together, and then all of a sudden, she makes out with his brother. Just because he admits to liking her. Even though she had no feelings for him whatsoever at that time. She only had feelings for Conrad. But the second he expresses his like towards her, she just decides to make out with him. Like, what? I feel like that is very, like, it is kind of accurate for, like, I don't know, a high school romance, I guess. But come on. A thing that I didn't write down, but I just remembered right now, is how, like, much the parents in this show make me uncomfortable. Like, Belly's mom, she seems like a good mom in general, but there's like a part where she gets high with her friends and they get completely wasted and start making out with guys, like at a bar. And then the only sex scene they show in season 1 is with Belly's mom. Like with a random dude at a bar who's also like an author or something. Like, what? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad they showed that instead of showing it with one of the kids, because that would make me uncomfortable. Like, I know the actors are like over 18, but it would make me uncomfortable knowing that Belly is like 16 and she's just like doing it with another dude in their car. Ew. And again, it makes me uncomfortable because there's times where like Belly's mom would like talk really like intimate and like gross with her daughter, and I think some of the times they were high and drunk, but it just made me uncomfortable for some reason, because just picturing my mom talking about that with me, I'm moving out at 16. I would be out by then. Yeah, like, it can't happen. No. But it just freaking, there's like a lot of drama with the moms as well, and I feel like the mom's drama is honestly more entertaining than the kids' drama. Like, I'd much rather see like the parents drama than the kids. I'm not saying they should get their own show, but I feel like if they focused more on the parents and the kids, then it would be more entertaining, because I feel like they do have a more complex story. But another criticism I do have before I get into the things that I liked was episode 3 with the basic white friend. Again, I hate saying those words. I really do. But that's the only way I could describe it. Complete pick-me vibes. Her friend, Belly's friend, in episode 3, she comes to visit. She comes to visit Belly and her friends. She gets a visit, and she's like the kind of girl who's like, oh my god, can you like stop? Like, she's that kind of girl. And I cannot stand those girls. Like, I rolled my eyes so much in this episode. And not only that, but this episode, episode 3, was like so predictable. I probably could have predicted everything that happened from the beginning to the end and not miss a beat. Like, I could have predicted the entire episode. Like, it's all about cheating, about manipulating, and about, I don't know, girl fights, about like, you know, basic girls having like, oh my god, you made out with my brother, oh my god, like, I thought you, like, oh, I like him, oh, it's like about me. Like, that's all episode 3 was about. And I could not watch it. I thought about ending the show right there. Like, I just really did not like this episode. I did not like her friend. Her friend was really rude, not supportive. The friend was just not a good friend. And to make it worse, it wasn't like a thing that was like obvious. It wasn't like she was like, oh my god, we're friends, and then all of a sudden ditching her at the end. It wasn't even like that. It was supposed to be like, you're such a good friend, and then they stay friends, like close friends. I thought it was gonna be a thing where like Belly, I don't know, found out that she's awful, and then just wanting to like, you know, just, I don't know, just wanting to ditch that girl or something. Like, I genuinely thought it was bad. And again, there's so many times where just like the acting is just so not good, and I really don't want to make fun of the actors. I really don't. But there was a scene in that episode that just drove me insane. It was a part where, I don't know, Belly's brother had a girlfriend or something, and then I believe they were playing like ball. They were playing like, I don't know, volleyball in the pool or something, and then all of a sudden they just like accidentally grazed the girl's head, and it was like a soft ball or something. They just grazed the girl's head, and then Billy's like, oh my god, are you okay? And for some reason the friend was just so rude. She was like, I don't care, like she was like, just grow up. Like she was just being so irritable. Like, ow, I couldn't even watch her.
So sorry,
Taylor,
it was an accident.
I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm totally fine. You guys keep playing.
And then like the girl had to go back inside and like ice her head. You had to ice your head? What? Like because of that? I don't, what? No. What? I just don't get that. I don't get it. It's just, there's so many times where it's like awkward and cringe, but I don't want to leave this episode on a bad note. I don't want to leave this video on a bad note. I really don't. So, I'm just gonna say this. The one plotline that I do find pretty compelling, again, this is spoilers for the show. If you don't want to hear it, don't watch this part. But I do like the plotline with the boy's mom having cancer. I do feel like that is compelling. I feel like that definitely is like a spice of drama that we need into this, because I remember it was just kind of mentioned out of nowhere. Like, it was just mentioned in a random episode just at the end, and I didn't expect it, didn't know what was going to happen, didn't see it coming. Because obviously the mom, like, she doesn't look like she has cancer, obviously. She doesn't, like, look ill. She looks, like, well. So when they said that, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I thought it was generally, like, I don't know. I thought that was pretty good. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. I don't know if she's gonna pass away in season 2. I don't know. Maybe I'll just watch season 2 just to talk about it. But no, yeah, I feel like that could be good. I feel like that could go somewhere. I feel like it'll be really dramatic. I feel like it'll maybe make the characters realize that life is too short and that they should just get with it and get with the people they like. And maybe Belly will finally make a decision who she wants to be with. I feel like that would be nice. I feel like it would be fun. So, again, I don't want to seem like this video is just me completely telling everyone who watches the show that you are an asshole and you shouldn't watch the show. Again, I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm just stating my opinion, if you guys are curious. And if some people could relate to my opinions, because, again, this show has lots of good reviews. It has a lot of good reviews. So, a majority of people do like the show, so that's good. I'm glad that people like the show. I'm glad that it's going good. Again, these are just my opinions. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to be making my new 9 Realms review coming up soon. Hope you guys enjoy that. Hope you guys have a good day. Whatever. It's late. I have to stop making videos so late. Hope you guys have a good day. I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye.